Howdy folks, my name is Lance090 and welcome back to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. So, Kerbal Space Program has just recently turned 10 years old. Version 1.12 is the final version that's released. Unfortunately, it actually updated the day that I decided I was going to start playing it, so I installed all the mods during 11.2, and then the next morning when I woke up, it was 11.12, and the game wasn't working because mods always have to update. Which brings me to my love-hate relationship with Kerbal Space Program. I'm kind of glad that they're done developing it because you really need mods to enjoy the game to its full potential, and every time they update it, the mods don't work. And it's kind of sad. There's this huge repository of mods on CCAN that you can look through, and there's just like so many mods that are depreciated now. Like people have given up developing, and you know it's because every time they get it working again, the game updates and then it doesn't work again. They said with version 1 that you wouldn't have to update the mods anymore. They would just work all the time, but no, they still crash every single time. So yeah, we're going to play on 11.2. There's not really anything that we're missing out on. There's some retexturing to some of the farther away planets, I think, like Elu and some of the moons. And there's some extra solar panels, but we already have a visual overhaul on, so all our planets should look better. We have extra planets anyway from an extra planets mod. We should have some extra parts from some parts mods. So I'm not too worried about what we might be missing out on. It's time for me to actually sit down and play Kerbal Space Program for a prolonged period of time, because I played a lot in the past, as you know, but we've never sat down and like had a full story. But let's get started here. Start new. Career mode, please. We'll grab the good old-fashioned light fire flag, which I have cropped properly this time, so it shouldn't be glitched out like it normally is. This is light fire space administration. Hopefully I spelled that right, because I'm bad at spelling things. Difficulty options. We're gonna do custom. Probably custom from normal, but let's see. I don't want missing crews to respawn. I want there to be permadeath. The only problem with like reverting flights and quick loading is sometimes the game glitches out and you just lose the spacecraft for no good reason. So we'll just have to police ourselves on that, I think. No out-of-fire crew members before flights, or this turns it on. No, don't do that. No entry persistently required on research. That's fine. That's kind of hard to explain exactly what that is. Facilities can be destroyed. That's good. Include stock vessels. I don't need them. Persist inventory loadout, because I think they've added the inventory system from a mod into the game base now. Allow other launch sites, and let's just stick to the main one. Resource bonus and re-entry heating seems fine. Comm network seems good. Let's see. I want reputation penalties to be pretty bad. But I do want funds rewards to be at like 200%, just because I want to be able to do things that I want rather than just totally relying on contracts and stuff. Because I might end up in a situation where we get stuck, might get soft locked. So let's just make sure we get enough money, and we'll just rebalance that by making it so if we lose people, it's pretty bad. Kerbal experience, yes please. Makes sense for them to need to come back home before they can level up. A lot of negative funds. Science. We'll turn on the pressure limits and G-force limits. I'm not going to turn on obey cross-feed rules because that can be pretty annoying. Probes required continual for any control rather than going down to partial control. I don't know what partial control is. I'm going to leave it off because I don't know what it means. There can be situations where, because of how the game saves the spacecraft, where like your solar panels won't quite be pointed at the sun, and then after you do a really fast time warp, you'll just have no power. So I'm hoping is like small or partial control means we can like turn a spacecraft towards the sun. And a plasma blackout, it is realistic, but it's also like, because a lot of the parts in this game like aren't really balanced right. Like just the Mark 1 command capsule, for example, it's a bell shaped like any command capsule from real life. And what that's supposed to do is make it so the bottom is heavier, so it's always pointed into the atmosphere. But for some reason, just it's messed up in this game, and it always flips over if you don't have control over it. So I'm going to keep plasma blackout off this time. Don't even know who you are. Attack life support. I'm just going to leave you the way you are because I don't know how to mess with you properly. And let's get started. So what is our primary goal in our Kerbal Space Program run here? Let's go to the tracking station. By the way, because of the outer planets mod, I don't know why it does this, but there's like weird overlapping with your orbits and stuff. It's fine. It's just weird looking. As you can see, we have a much larger solar system. Normally it just ends at Joule, and then you get Elu's out here somewhere, but I think they've turned Elu into a moon somewhere. There's a few things I don't like about the outer planets mod. So this Plock is now like our version of why am I having a brain fart here? Pluto. Plock is like our version of Pluto. I'm not sure why they didn't just move Elu out there, because Elu was supposed to be their version of Pluto in the original game. But now we have Saturn, now we have Uranus and Neptune. And I think around Saturn, so slightly spoilers, because I kind of want to be able to Tecto, Slate, Elu. Oh, here's Elu. Speak of the devil. I think Tecto is what I'm looking for. Maybe, maybe not. Just trying to see if that was the water world. There's supposed to be a world like Titan, which is Lathe in the original game. Lathe is around Joule. Maybe it's not Elu, of course, because we know what Elu looks like. It must be around Joule then, huh? Or is it Tylo? No, it's Lathe. Yeah, okay. So our goal, I thought it was around, it would make more sense for it to be around the Saturn planet, because Saturn has Titan, which has liquid water on the surface. Not water, liquid methane. See these weird trajectories, so you just kind of got to live with it. Our goal is going to be to bring a person to Lathe and then take them back. And then I would also say we got to send a probe to at least every planet in the solar system. Even if it's just a flyby, we have to visit everywhere. So that's our rules for engagement here. That's our goal of our space program. And now I have to remember, like, what the heck, how you actually play this game, because we don't want the space playing here later. And I don't know if I have a unmanned before manned install. We'll, of course, gather scientific data from Kerbal and launch our first vessel. We should be able to do those in one go. So I tried to install lots of realism mods, as you've seen. I've put a lot in here. We have life support, and I think we have deadly reentry on. I think they've added deadly reentry as part of the base game, but this makes it like a little bit more realistic and a little bit more dangerous. So we have some realism mods, but then there's stuff like the construction time mod. For me, it's just really annoying. It has like a really clunky interface, and it'd just be better. Hopefully in like KSP 2, they'll make it so it's like part of the default game in a way that has like a good interface, but it just has a really clunky interface, and I hate it. So we're not going to do it. And then there's usually unmanned before manned mods, because in the base Kerbal Space Program game, you start everything with Kerbals actually on their command capsules and everything. But it doesn't make sense, because in the real world we started with space probes first. So there's a few mods that do that, so it switches it so there's space probes first. But while I was updating this, I think they were like all depreciated. So I don't know if I actually did install one or not. We will find out. I think we have 0 research. There's no point in researching anything. Don't think we need to upgrade anything. Let's see what we have available. Yeah, all we have is a probe right now, which actually makes things harder, because with crew, we get a lot more science back. Now, what I'm thinking, what do we even have? We have a thermometer. So we do have some kind of unmanned before man thing installed. I think we just sit this thing on the launch pad and do the very limited amount of science we can do. Personal parachute, EVA jetpack. These must be part of the default game because I didn't install anything like that. So this thing's gonna look really clunky. It's not. We're not gonna like reuse this design or anything. I don't know if we even need this, but I'm gonna slap it on there. Basically, just gonna sit this on the launch pad. And get our very, very basic science done. Uh-oh, what the heck? What is that? All right, you messed up. Deadly re-entry debug. Deadly re-entry messing with you? That's kind of odd. Whatever. Let's see. Don't seem to have any sort of research we can do from the probe. Keep data. I think that's literally it until we launch it. So we'll just recover it. When you have something on the launch pad, you get all the money back for it. So I just wanted to get that basic science. Unfortunately, I don't think 4 is enough. I was hoping we could... Oh, we have some extra science. Those structures, tiny. I-beams. Because we do need to get like... They should still let you use like a cockpit. Because obviously we'd have planes by this point in time. But what we're going to do is make sure we use... Oh, I guess we got credit. Archives completed. Yeah, we got 1 science. Okay. So now we'll just iterate 1 step. Unfortunately, do we have a parachute? Just a personal parachute. Kerbal size ram air parachutes per full of intrepid pilots. Some hijinks. Top of the vehicle assembly building. Seems like that's only will work for people, so this space probe is dead. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. Let's see. Do you have... Well, pilot assist available. There's electric charge. It does have an antenna. 5K antenna. So let's pull this off. We might have to uninstall deadly re-entry. I think that's what's messing with that. I don't know why, but... See, we have no decouplers or anything. That's okay. Actually is going to be a little tricky. Put these baseline mods on. Don't need symmetry on you anymore. I think these parts are still 0 weight. I don't know about batteries though. The battery might actually have... It might have physics enabled on the battery. But these parts are usually zero physics. And then let's just thrust limit you. I'm sure you can lift up more than this, but I don't know exactly. If you haven't watched my other Kerbal Space Program content, you know that I kind of just like to eyeball it. I don't really do like the... Huh. That's still there, huh? I wonder if it's just something on the launch pad then. I guess we'll see once we take off. Okay, it's something on the launch pad, so maybe we'll be okay once we upgrade the launch pad. I don't know why there'd be a missing texture on the launch pad, though. We're gonna have to transmit this data, because... What? See, that's why we want, like, revert flight, because it doesn't make sense. It says it has an antenna. Why can't it transmit? Kind of confusing, but okay. Could probably have a little bit more boost. It's kind of going slow there. Yeah, that's why I want the revert launch, because there's weird stuff like that where it's like, huh? That doesn't make sense. It says it has an antenna. Why can't it transmit the science? There we go. I doubt we'll be able to get some like really good data up here, but log temperature. Can we do that more than once? No. The rest of it we have to keep. Let's see. How do we do the hotkey for accelerate time? Control is control something. 2x time. Oh, we can click, but there's like a control. It's been so long since I played, I forgot like basic stuff. Oh, I don't know if you can check in here. Have ball position. It's crazy that it's been that long that I don't remember like that basic control. You can see the visual enhancements mod puts down like fake cities. They disappear once you get close to the land again, but it makes things prettier from orbit. And we have these volumetric clouds, all that cool stuff. Hey, we're flying over Kerbin's glass land. Get a little bit more sent back. Why I'm forgetting. It's not tab. I know it was control something for physics warp, and then non-physics warp was just not control something. Some more weird decals there. Results. All right, return to the Space Center. There we go. So we've taken out our first two objectives. We still have to escape the atmosphere. Radial decoupler, inline cockpit. Splashed down at Kerbal. So that would give us an inline cockpit for like one mission, which could be pretty valuable. Although I don't know if I could get I don't know if I could get a Kerbal to safely survive. Oh, we have an inline cockpit right here. I think we need to do this, as weird as it sounds, because I'd like to grab the extra science parts. But this would allow us to build a little space plane that we could use to do a bunch of science around the Space Center and just like troll up a ton of science by not doing any work. Actually, we can do both. It does both, actually. Panel, more wings, not sure about that. Fuel tanks, these are pretty good stuff. More straw structures, not terribly worried yet. Early aviation. Stability. I wonder how much of this is the mod I have installed and how much of this is just an updated tech tree from normal updates. Oh, and that research buy-in thing, that setting you looked at, makes it so you have to pay for each specific item within a tech tree, but I feel like the research cost is already kind of enough to deal with that, in my honest and humble opinion. What we can do is we can see what missions we can do while attempting this. Focus observational survey. I think this is a flight mission. Probably not going to happen. Taste the basic jet engine. Anything where you have to do it at an altitude and speed. It's simultaneously both, which sometimes is just impossible. So I'd try not to do those at all. Inline cockpit chat. Splashdown. That would actually be doable. Test a radial mount. Parachute in flight. Yeah, see. And like this one, it doesn't have an altitude and speed. Also, that's in like deep space. This one's doable. This expires in 5 days, but we have a year to do it. So I'll take a hand in that. Might not be able to do either of those very soon, but here we go. Now we can get a Kerbal on the job here, if I remember how to build how to build a plane. Want these close to the cockpit, so actually want them close to the cockpit on this side even, because there's the ladder. We want the Kerbal to be able to reach them. Shouldn't need this. We'll put those somewhere else. Liquid fuel fuselage. That's a small one. Just need one. Closest thing we have to a nose cone right now, so I'll live with it. Symmetry on the winglets. Landing gear, just need the one. This part's always tricky because they don't like to mirror properly. Yeah, see, that's not quite right. We need to grab this. Nope, not that. Come on. These wheels are always finicky because you don't want your jet engine to sploop on the ground. Looking for my adapter here. Man, I don't remember any of the buttons. I'm trying to rotate it, but there we go, like that. This thing doesn't actually have to fly, it just has to coast on the ground. We do not need Jebediah for this. We will take Bob because he'll get slightly more science XP. And this is KSP Shuttle 1. Save. There's our awesome flag, by the way. All right. We also need to check our turf thrust is fine. Can't remember if wings are supposed to be ahead of the center of mass or behind it. I think it's supposed to be slightly behind. I could be wrong. It might be supposed to be slightly in front, but I don't know. We'll find out the hard way. But we're out of time for this video, so we'll do our little drive around the Space Center in the next one. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, remember hit the like button, keep the conversation going in the comments, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Until next time, hope you have a good day.